I would rather cry in a Ferrari than smile on a bicycle, right? Welcome to another episode of Hash It Out, and today we are debating this topic of happiness can't exist without money in today's society. I'm Talem, I'm going to be your host for today, and I'm on the opposing team together with Ling Yi. And on the affirmative team, we have Nicholas and we have Thomas.
You start because I got a lot of points there. I just see where.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is my credit card bill for one of my credit cards. Alright, let's go through some of the purchases together, shall we? Alright, so I think the most expensive thing I bought was $4,251.
I thought that was bad.
I bought a manga panel from One Piece.
What's a manga panel?
It's just the page of a manga.
Why?
That is like bloated up.
Was it
signed by official artists? Okay. Other than that, I also bought a snowboard. It's $508.
Okay.
And last week I went to Zouk Capital, $2,023.50. Right. And after all that, am I happy? Freaking happy. Oh, you're just shocked at the spending habits right now. Money is necessary in today's society. Okay. Happiness is defined as having positive emotions, life satisfaction, having a sense of purpose, relationships and social connection. It also contributes to your physical and mental well-being and personal growth and self-acceptance and resilience and coping skills, right? And I think money helps in all ways, okay? You know what makes me the happiest?
What?
Playing Ichiban Kuji. You know what's Ichiban Kuji?
What is that?
You buy $15 for a ticket, and then you might get a towel, or you get a figurine! A figurine!
Oh my good lord.
Gambling. That's a gambling.
Yeah, you know what makes me even happier? Gambling.
Oh.
So, do I
don't
need
condone
money
that.
to gamble? Confirm it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I am not happy without money. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah,
Thomas,
yeah,
now
yeah.
got talk.
I personally think you need a little bit of help on the gambling side. Spending wise, up to you lah. But okay, on this side of the team, the debate, I think obviously it cannot, right? The world, because in the topic statement it also says in today's society.
Correct.
Now I think that's very important because in today's society, the world has transformed and pushed into a very capitalistic society, which means that we are very driven by material things. In many cases, the comparisons of success and joy is how much material things you have, what you wear, what you drive. See, you want to cry in Ferrari, you want to smile on a bicycle, you still need to pay for a bicycle.
Correct.
So if you look at the world of gachas and collecting, like he talked about, or how employees go crazy when a boss gives them a Rolex, for example. So in just pure scientific sense, right, when you spend money, your brain releases dopamine. That's the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, a feel-good sensation. Okay, so that's just science, and that also proves why retail therapy is a proven phenomenon that helps cheer people up. On top of that, let's say you are very, very, very zen. You don't even need money at all. But guess what? Even that needs money to sustain. Because why? Because people fall sick. So no one is happy in illness lah. So even if you are someone who doesn't spend money, you still need money to sustain your level of happiness. Now we go into just elaborating on many, many different facets of what money can do, right? Like for example, you can outsource tasks. Now you free up time for leisure and relaxation, right? This helps to reduce stress and improve your overall happiness. Now research done by PNAS, I forgot what they stand for, found that spending money on time-saving services actually helps increase happiness. Money enables experiences as well. You see, like Lingy loves to travel, Nick loves to buy toys. Everything needs money, no matter how frugal you try to be.
Travel and buy toys.
Yeah, and have you all ever sat a business class, right? It's crazy. Economy always complain about, wow, it's very tough. You touch the elbow of the person beside you, right? The only elbow you touch in business class, right, is the air stewardess one.
Oh.
And then when that happens, right, Korean songs play. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Yeah, it's very good. 183.
Same. I want one. We cannot sit in an economy seat.
Exactly. If you're altruistic, right, money also can serve others, which also brings about joy to yourself because you can give back. This money can also help improve your environment, so you stay away from negative situations. For example, how people always say like, "Wow, rich people live in their own bubble," and it's right because they don't understand the struggles of the middle and lower class because they don't want to. They move themselves away from it so they stay happy. And with money, you can also get freedom. You can choose what jobs you want to do. You can, and in turn, you can find your own meaning to life. It also facilitates better creativity. So, for example, if Nick wants to make a movie, if he has a bottomless bank, he can do anything. One more point I want to say, perhaps, is better nutrition. right? Better nutrition is directly linked to happiness, improves mental well-being, reduce symptoms of depression, and this was also done by research by National Institutes of Health. So my conclusion is that every facet of life is covered by money.
Yeah.
In fact, we wouldn't even be here if money wasn't involved.
Correct.
Not
And
involved,
if you would like to agree with us right now,
And
okay, you agree with us?
we'll come to the end of today's episode. Give me the money.
Let this be recorded as a point.
Wow!
Guys, we both agree with Nick and we are taking the money.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
However, this does not make us happy. This
Yeah.
makes us ashamed. Let's go.
Oh, you did that! You did that! You didn't understand the plan!
Okay, so let's talk about happiness, okay? I think the nature of human happiness is multifaceted, alright? It has a variety of ways to make us feel the happiness, and it does not have to be through monetary means. Okay, let's take a look. See, we joke about, crying in a Ferrari versus smiling on a bike, but jokes aside, you can feel happiness even from walking in a park. You don't need money to take a walk in a park.
You need the money to build the park.
So you can take a walk at a random grass patch at the back of your whatever house that you have, right? Okay, and you can do that, right? Okay, so let's say you're saying that happiness cannot exist in today's society without money. I think it's too much of a simplification. Why? We know that money plays a significant role in ensuring you have, let's say, certain securities in life, you have certain necessities that you need to purchase. Sure, you can upgrade yourselves through monetary means, but you can also achieve happiness through other ways. Let me give you some scenarios, okay? So scenario number one, right? Last time, how did people used to achieve happiness when they all have very poor income in the old kampung days? Back then, people just chase after chickens, chase after the sunset, and they are still happy, even though they could be, barely making ends meet. They don't really have money at all, but they can still be happy every day by spending time with their friends, spending time with their families, their valued ones, their loved ones. In today's society, you can do the same. For example, it's Valentine's Day. You can choose to give your other half a very expensive jewelry, or you can simply, spend no money and write up a heartfelt handwritten note to your other half, and they can feel your love. Scenario number two, you can choose to donate money to a charity of your choice. Like you say, right? You can feel happiness. We have money to go and help others in need. You can choose to donate that money to old folks home, orphanage. You go and help out animal shelter. You can give them money. Or you can actually go down there and spend time with those who want to have people to accompany them, right? Some old folks, they feel lonely. That money is not going to change everything, right? Maybe your ama at home. They say like, hey, I want to spend time with my grandchildren, but you'll be like, sorry, we're busy lah, but here's $500, go and buy something you want, ama. Your ama is like, $500, what am I going to do with it? I just can I use that $500 to buy an hour of my grandchildren's time? Let me give you a third example. Today, you are crossing the road, you see an ama, and then the ama fall down. Lama, what do? Do you throw money at the ama? Ama, does it make you feel better now about your fall? Or do you go there and actually help her up?
And I will add on a lot of points to Zeliang's points, and good job. So many factors contribute to happiness other than money. We're not denying that money can generate happiness, but it's definitely not the sole determinator of happiness. I'm sitting here today chatting with two beautiful men and Nick. That makes me happy. So let's dive in deeper on some of the key factors that leads to happiness other than money. Since I have limited time, I'll just give one example. Physical activity. Engaging in regular physical activity is associated with higher happiness level. Studies have shown that cardio exercise release endorphin, which is the feel-good hormones. So by doing cardio exercise or having sex will make you happy with no money involved. Okay, second point, there are individuals and communities who have chosen to live without money and report experiencing happiness and fulfillment through alternative lifestyles. This is today's society, yeah? There are notable examples, but we don't know them, so instead of listing them out, let me paint a relatable picture for y'all. A group of farmers, fishermen who live in the middle of nowhere in Thailand. They grow their own vegetables, fish their own fish, and live their lives without having to spend money. Is this hard to picture? It is not. Last point. Kids who represent a large population in today's society have no concept of money, right? They smile not because of money. They are happier playing with cardboard boxes than expensive toys. Every parent knows that the ultimate law of childhood happiness, buy your kid a fancy toy, they will ignore it and play with the box instead. So kids who contribute to a large portion of society, they are not motivated by money. Their happiness is irrelevant. So moral of the story, simple toys is bigger than expensive stuff. We believe that happiness can exist without money in today's society.
It can exist
Yeah.
without money.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the second round. 10 minutes, free for all, and let's hash it out.
Everything that you all have said that makes you all happy involves money. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Having the luxury of time to even go and exercise,
Right.
right? Everything is a luxury good, okay? Physical activity. You sign up for Pilates studio with our beloved producer over there, right? They give an extra point for that. Okay? That requires money. Okay? Having even the time to go and spend time at an old folks' home, right, requires money. You think a less impoverished person is gonna like, oh, I'm gonna take my time out to go and do charity?
Maybe.
No
maybe.
freaking way lah.
Why not?
Sex needs money. To
Ah.
even attract a girl to come and sleep with me, you think I take the $2 note, she will be happy?
That's
Why
a
would you
you
even take
problem,
$2?
That's a
not
new
the
problem.
girl problem.
Yeah. Unless you're a girl and then you just strip and then like, oh, like men will come, right? But for most of us, right, sex needs money, okay? There's no way you don't need money to have sex. You need money to have a bed, you need money to have a space to have sex. Even hotel 81 1 hour is $42.
The staircase is free.
Okay?
People find joy in that.
Yeah, exactly. We find joy.
Okay,
I
so
think, wait, sorry, you said most of us requires money to have sex, right? I'm not denying that, but most, not all. And today's motion is, you are saying happiness can't exist without money, absolutely. Okay, we are saying no. So I think your whole statement, because of your most of us, is invalid.
okay, I just want to say, right, I'll talk about the first point about buying the expensive rock thing, right? And you can write a handwritten note. So my girlfriend will hate me for that because I've checked her love language is gifting. So that immediately 20% of the partners out there love gifts. So you kind of need money for that lah. The old folks home part,
20%.
I do believe, I agree as well
20%,
that
not
with
all.
money, you actually can free up your time to go and spend time with your ama. In fact, I can hire other amas to play like we with her. Then she don't even need to ask me to be
Imagine
there.
having an ama society, you think I can do that without money?
And the last point I want to make is that, you know, when you talked about kids and farmers and all this,
Right.
not having a huge concept or need for money, I think that's such a great point. But unfortunately, farmers and all the rural habitats, they are a smaller percentage of a population. And number two is for kids, give them 3 years. Once they grow up on TikTok, once they grow up on social media and have to deal with comparisons and jealousy because of how toxic our current society and how
Yes.
capitalistic the nature is, the concept of money comes so fast that they cannot escape
Correct.
the need for money anymore.
It's correct.
I think it's a good point that Thomas actually brought up. You talk about how when they grow up, they start using social media and TikTok and they discover comparison, right? So let's give you a scenario whereby they're so poor, they can't even afford to go on social media, that they don't even have access to the internet. They don't have phones. Then does that mean they will be further away from the source of the theft of happiness, which is social media, which leads to comparison? So they can't compare, and then they won't feel like, hey, I'm losing out compared to other people. Secondly, like Thomas mentioned earlier in his opening statement, right, that your brain releases like dopamine from doing things that makes you happy. For example, like gambling, you know, buying blind boxes or trying your luck at either a tower or a figurine or something, right? So you can actually train your brain to receive or to release the happy hormones from doing other things. You can train your brain to get the same happiness simply by helping others in your free time. You don't have to specifically fork out time, like one whole day. You say you don't have the luxury to have one whole day to go and help out at an old folks home or whatever, right? Yeah, simply you can just see someone in need, you go and help them out lah. That's another way to
So
give happiness.
sex, helping people out, old folks home.
It's what makes you happy.
That's what makes me happy. What's wrong with that?
Furthermore, you were talking about kids. You say give them three years, right? Then they understand the concept of money. They go on social media, they start comparing, right? Which is a great point because you are saying money can lead to unhappiness. Because pursuing wealth can cause stress, dissatisfaction, and strained relationship. Rich individuals often experience loneliness, trust issues, and pressure to maintain their status. The ones who never play Toto are not unhappy. The ones who frequently play Toto and never win.
Ah, yeah,
those are the
my
people
number gone again.
who
Yeah.
are unhappy.
That is
So-
The ones with
Yeah.
money don't even need to play Toto.
That's yes,
Okay.
sure.
We're not talking about rich people here.
Right.
We're talking about everyday people having money.
Right.
Money is necessary for survival. Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
Right now, we talk about what you need in the world. Okay, food, shelter,
Yes.
clothes on your back.
Yes.
All these need money. Like if you talk about today's society, it's confirmed. If you talk about when I was a caveman and I could make something out of a pig, right? Then
Yeah.
there's no problem, right? I hunt for my food, I find a cave to live under. But today, I want a BTO, what is $500,000? Your new Bedok house that you're looking at, $650,000? That's crazy. Do I even have that kind of money? No. Can I buy a house? I cannot.
But even if you can't, you can still find happiness.
Where?
Anywhere. Happiness is in your heart. It's not the material things that make you feel happy.
I think that's a great point. So I want to just touch on that, right?
Okay.
Which is your Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The bottom two of the pyramid actually shows physiological needs first, which is
Okay.
like food, health, sex, and stuff.
Right, yeah.
After that will be like shelter, security, right? So these two need to be fulfilled first, which are money required things.
Right.
Before you fulfill these needs, you can't even go up to the higher echelon of like self-fulfillment, giving back and stuff like that. And I just want to add one more point about how that people within these rural societies as well, they actually try to thrive, to progress, to get out of their circumstances and go out and seek for even more fulfillment, whether it's progress or creativity and stuff like that. In the rural countries, let's say, they could have achieved better educational success, probably with less money, but the moment they go out, once again, to get to the next level, the next tier of happiness, you always need money again.
Right.
Whether it's for your research or whatever you're trying to thrive for, you need money.
Right, but don't forget, today we are debating whether it can exist, whether happiness can exist without money, okay? So that's still one thing. We understand that, sure, you can feel more happiness, you can have better environment, you can create opportunities for yourself with money, but it can also exist without all these opportunities. So let's take an example you see on YouTube, so on social media all the time, right? Like those influencers, they go and help out homeless people, people in need on the streets, not in Singapore, but maybe in, for example, America, right?
Kindness.
Right. So they do this kind of things maybe as a social experiment or whatever. They want to gain fame or for whatever reason. And you see that you can bring a smile to those homeless people's faces. And by the way, the homeless people, right, they don't have shelter, like you said, right? They can sleep on the streets and they barely have any clothes. And all these are not their own belongings. They're donated by other people or they found from the rubbish. And yet you can bring a smile to their face and they can feel happy by receiving acts of kindness from other
But
people.
this smile is brought from external money. So money is still integral to this smile. Without money, right, nobody can offer a helping hand or I give you $1,000, then you're happy for today, you know. They cannot. The money still exists, it comes from somewhere. You cannot be like, oh, just because it didn't come from themselves, then it doesn't make them happy.
A lot of these videos
can
also
what?
sensationalize how there are material things involved. Like,
Right.
wow, I bring you to eat a nice meal. I get you a nice haircut. I give you a makeover to make you
Right.
look good. And all these are tied with money as well.
Then I am a homeless person right now. I found a tree that has free mangoes growing on it. And then I pick up one mango. I'm not using anybody's money. The
Right.
tree was naturally there. Can you say that that did not bring me
you
happiness?
bring them
And then
for a
you
haircut.
realize that that tree is on government property because
It's
you
not.
can't anyhow
But
plant
it's
it.
not.
Wait,
And
it's
that is
not.
bought by government
It's
money.
not.
And you
Like
bring
then
you
they
said.
fine you and then you need money to hire a lawyer.
Like we said, there are individuals and communities in today's society who chose to live without money. Okay, think about the Eskimos.
Even monks
But-
use iPhones.
But I'm not talking about monks. I'm talking about communities who chose to live without money, and I think they're happy, and they deliberately chose to live without
Okay,
money.
let's look at this very interesting data. Okay, so put a context in today's society in Singapore, right? Okay, so in Singapore, let's take a look at the research done in 2023. So Singapore is one of the highest GDP per capita in the world, which is around 72,000 USD in 2023. And yet, in 2023, in the World Happiness Report, we only ranked 26th. What is the reason? I mean, we're supposed to have a higher ranking in the World Happiness Index, given that we make more money, more GDP per capita, right? But it's not the case. Why? Because you, in order to maintain that level of happiness, because you find that, hey, by having a good shelter over my head, by having good clothes to wear, having all my necessities meet by having money, you find the opportunities for you to continue comparing with others and to continue improving your life. But the continuing improvement requires more effort and it brings more stress to you in the long run. In order to keep up the happiness that is brought by money, you have to keep on making yourself unhappy by working non-stop.
Correct. Then after that, I can use my money to hire a therapist to help me with my alleviating stress problems and my depression and my anxiety.
So given...
But can I get a therapist without money?
Okay.
I cannot.
So-
My mental well-being needs to be elevated, but I can only do that with money.
So does that mean that all poor people who can't afford therapists or who can't have a good income,
Are
they're all
unhappy?
depressed, they're all unhappy?
No, because
No,
they
they're
haven't
not.
had that problem.
Exactly, caused by money.
Nick and Thomas are winning by 1 point.
What? They had only 1 point.
Third round, I'm gonna get you guys to swap camps.
In today's society, happiness can't exist without money.
exactly.
Right? Correct?
Totally. See, you need money.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you 1 point first. Culturally, especially in Chinese culture, which is what I know the best, so I talk about this culture, happiness can't exist without money. That is why we give ang pao during Chinese New Year, weddings, baby showers, funerals, and we wish each other 恭喜发财, which literally means I wish you get rich. So culturally, it's guaranteed that.
Culturally, okay, it stemmed from India first lah, but Zen Buddhism, right, which a lot of Chinese also kind of like practice, actually teaches you to find happiness without the need to be tied with materialistic things. So that actually shows you how it is possible to have happiness exist without money. In fact, my biggest point that I want to make is that if you feel like you need to spend to achieve happiness, whether you need to go out and gamble, whether you need to go out and spend thousands of dollars on bags or cars or whatever, the problem is that you might not be happy in the first place. And that money is only a temporary patch. It's like a band-aid that is on a big gaping hole in your heart that you cannot fill. So in fact, it doesn't provide happiness, it just negates your sadness for that moment, and then the next day you feel hungover and depressed, and you're not happy again, and you need to go through that same cycle.
Why do you
is
have
that
to
happiness?
say
It's
hungover
not.
and depressed? But yeah, let's take a look at the law of diminishing returns.
Okay.
All right?
wow, yeah.
There will be a point based on a University of Pennsylvania 2023 study by Matthew Killingsworth. All right?
Killings.
Yeah.
You killing
Happiness does increase linearly with money until beyond $80,000 doesn't work anymore. So
Yes.
if I am right now a person that has an income of above $80,000, which I am not, right? I no longer can buy happiness. All right. So at that point in time, money does not exist in that society.
It
And
does.
how many people are richer than $80,000? In Singapore, we have the highest percentage of millionaires. Okay, that means that majority, you know why Singaporeans are not happy? Because at this point of their life, right, they're all too rich to be happy anymore.
All the poor people didn't even know the survey happened, they couldn't even vote.
Correct.
Okay, I'm very happy you brought up that particular survey result because I also found it. And you know what I found after that? It's another survey result that was done 10 years later by Michael Lincoln from Harvard. It says that money and happiness is still relevant to each other in today's society. And the result that you found was an older statistics. So I think we can avoid that.
Right.
Yeah, and
I want to add on as well. Okay?
You add first.
So let's talk about this. So there was another study done in 2020 by Harvard Study of Adult Development where they found that the key indicators, the predictors of happiness and long-term well-being were in fact stronger relationships, emotional resilience, and a sense of purpose, which all requires money to achieve. Let's shift time back to around the time of 2020, 2019. That's where COVID happened, right? So during COVID, everyone were fighting for the same thing, which was?
Internet.
Toilet paper.
Which you need money for lah, and
COVID.
masks. So without masks, you couldn't have vaccines, and you cannot have all sorts of protection for your family and your loved ones. So if you're happy in your own home, but somehow the virus got into your house, and everyone contracts COVID-19 without the vaccines, without the masks, without the hand sanitizers, without the food, you're locked in a house. You say you're happy with your family, but you're locked there, you're trapped in a death box.
I love that you're talking about viruses. Because what happens if you have money and you're met with an incurable disease? Right?
Tell me more.
There's no amount of money that can save you, and you're locked in a death bed.
Right.
And
Okay.
then
Yes.
it's super contagious.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
no one can visit you.
Yes.
Yes.
And no doctor can save you,
Wow,
and you're just
sad.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
money can buy robotic services. You don't need a human being to be around you. You can
Cannot.
pay for the AI, the robot to serve you.
Let me tell you what happens. So you're in your deathbed with a lot of money, is it? All your family, they're all gonna fight over your money. They're gonna lie to you, they're gonna steal your money and create even more unhappiness. Money is a platform to create conflict. Why do countries fight? Why are
No.
wars fought? Because they want to achieve more financial status, because they want the oil in Iraq. Now they want to take Palestine. Why?
No.
Confirm got some
I think
monetary
that's
thing there.
not what we are talking
Yeah.
about today.
But-
Today, you are comparing to somebody who has an incurable disease with money or without money, right? So
Yeah.
if you have an incurable disease with money, it can at least give you some happiness for your last few years or
Without
days.
money,
You can't
I
even
just
say.
I'm happy because wow, it's such a
Exactly.
treacherous
No, but
that's not the
life.
thing.
Live without
Comfortable last few days is much better
a lot of
than
incurable diseases,
uncomfortable.
they take many years for it to reach the final stage. So you already have the diagnosis, and you're just
Exactly.
gonna suffer without money for the next 5 years.
You want what 10 years of suffering with a bit of money to get you like some KFC in date? No, I want no money, tomorrow I die.
There is this
Like,
saying.
you're prolonging my suffering.
But you're not gonna die tomorrow.
Prolonging it.
There is this saying, don't die with money in the bank. Because why? When you are there in the deathbed, right, and you incurable disease, and then you have all this money, you actually cannot spend it all. And then you start thinking like, oh my god, should have been all these things that I should have done, blah blah blah. But if you were poor, you don't even have that option. You were just content with where you are in life.
But
today.
when you have the
find
money-
contentment and you find happiness in your situation.
Right, when you have all that money in your bank before you die, you don't know how to spend it, you have all the regrets like you mentioned, right? Why not donate the money to those in need? Why wait to
That will
spend it?
also find you happiness.
Which will give you happiness where you know that you can help those
And then you
who
realize-
can survive longer by giving them money.
And then you realize that charity, scammers everywhere.
You don't have to give to charity, you can give to the...
Scammers are successful because they provide people happiness, even though those happiness are temporary and maybe false. But you can't deny that they are happiness.
Scammers provide what happiness?
What?
Scammers are they scam you are. The reason that you get scammed is because you believe in something they are selling you, right? Although it is false information. Okay. Yeah,
So
exactly.
for that moment, you really
For that
think you
moment,
were
you are
dating Leonardo
happy. So it's
DiCaprio, right?
irrelevant. I have one more point. Happiness is pure, right? We're talking about within inside, right? But you know what's purer? Money. It gives one a very clear goal and purpose, which grants happiness. Okay, there are many things that provides happiness, right? But money is one thing that guarantees you happiness, no matter how big or small this happiness is. The key word in today's motion is in today's society. In today's society, unhappiness roots in the lack of goals and purpose in one's life. When you say somebody unhappy, why? Because you don't have purpose. You don't have goals. And money in today's society is the one of those reasons that
Because
we
they
are
are
not
distracted
lost.
by money.
That we're not
And
lost.
not focused on themselves to
And
achieve what they
money-
want and figure out what they want.
Money is that one
sorry,
goal
I
for
thought the time
us
was
that
running out.
unites, clarifies, and
No.
encourages.
We cannot. Causation is not equal to correlation.
Okay.
Right? So money might make you happy, but it's not the cause of happiness.
Right.
You get it?
Yeah.
Like
You get to know. No, you get to know. You get to know. Okay.
it's like you might be chasing money,
Right.
and then it might be a form to bring you towards happiness,
Right.
but it's not the cause.
So
you
what-
see, it's the drive, it's the passion,
That's
it's
right.
the power.
What is the cause for you then? For
Okay,
happiness?
My happiness
Yeah.
is when I'm entertaining people.
Entertain.
That brings me the most.
How do you entertain people?
So actually, it's not about the gambling. It's when he's dealing the cards and
Yeah.
watching people go crazy.
you need money
That
to buy
moment-
cards.
Correct, but it's not a cause, you see.
Yeah.
It's not the reason that people are happy.
Let me
But you
talk about this.
can't, you can't achieve what you want to achieve without the
Yeah, but we
monetary
cannot
means.
equal causation equals correlation, you understand?
But how do you do any of the things that you mentioned
No, but you
without the
understand.
monetary value to buy any of the
No,
things
I'm
to
saying
begin
it's
with?
necessary, but it's not the cause.
I understand.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand that it's not the cause.
Okay, then-
but you still
Okay.
need money to get there.
I think we are getting to a point
Where we are looping
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, we are.
Okay,
Okay, let's
I
get
just
out
want
of
to
this,
talk
yes,
on
okay.
that point where we are talking about finding that fulfillment and,
Yes.
and stuff, right?
Right.
So I think in this day in society, you would think that, oh, I need money to achieve certain things.
Right.
But one way to, for example, find your meaning to life or find your fulfillment or find the right job for you is, for example, going on many internships.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get paid the most. Sometimes you don't get paid at all. But through many different internships, exposing yourselves to many experiences, which for why I said free internships, right, is because this doesn't require
Name
money.
me a happy intern who's doing a free internship.
Me interning at Nat Geo.
That's a lie.
That it was amazing. You go out there, you see
And
animals
how many
and stuff
interns get the
like that.
opportunity same as
How
you?
many
Exactly.
people quit their jobs from a higher paying job to a job with better culture? Like working at What Banana is amazing.
Why you quit?
It's very amazing.
Why you
You
quit?
make a lot of money.
Why you quit?
Why you
eh?
quit?
Why you quit?
Why you quit?
For
Why you
other
quit?
reasons, it's not having money or
Right,
happiness.
Correct. The money was great, actually. The money was fantastic.
Yeah. Money was fantastic. Yeah.
We were balling.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And we were happy. Right?
very
but the
happy.
happiness was eclipsed the money.
Yes.
Yes, but then what if I didn't pay you? Would you be the same happiness? No, right? Because money still plays an
I
important
would.
part to your
Because I
daily
sat
life.
beside you in the office.
So you come back now and then she don't pay you lah.
So happy. Huh?
Huh?
And
Come
then
back,
if
join
I
lah.
didn't pay you, whose
Yeah lah.
money would you be spending on living in a life in Singapore? Your mother's money, right? That's still money, what?
Maybe my mom loves me. She want to spend on me.
You're right,
Yeah,
but
but money
money
is
spend what?
involved.
Your mom needs money to spend on you. Okay, let me just bring you back a little bit further behind, okay, where we were talking about
Further
the
behind.
hospital and the deathbed one, right? You
Yeah.
say give the charity, they're gonna scam your money or whatever, right? You know, the easiest thing you can do is to simply fund another poor child who's staying in the same hospital as you and fund their surgery, right? And they can have a good life ahead of
The
you.
problem is,
Thank
my
you.
incurable disease makes me mute. So I can't even tell the doctor. I want to. They don't know.
So the winner of this entire debate
No, the real winners are me and Zeliang.
That's right. We actually won.
Yeah.
That's true. Hey,
What did they get?
brother,
They got nothing.
Yeah,
we get a trophy.
Thank you.
that is.
But does
We are
that
so
spark
happy.
joy? Does that bring happiness?
No, it
this
doesn't.
brings happiness. Thank you for watching this episode of Hash It Out. We'll see you in the next one. Subscribe and let us know your thoughts down below. And we'll see you in the next episode of Hash It Out.
Hey, wait, listen.
Pew, pew, pew.